Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Zach and I am here with a list video for you guys. Now for this list, I'll be going over my top 5 Keanu Reeves movies. Now Keanu Reeves is an actor that I do like a lot, and he's apparently a very nice guy in real life too, and I can believe it. So of course, a good guy, pretty good actor, and I wanted to go over my top 5 movies of his with you guys where he's either the lead star or he's one of the leading stars. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I think before we get started with my top 5, I'll name a couple of honorable mentions. So 47 Ronin, this is a movie that I knew I wouldn't place in my top 5. This is a movie that I think is all right or decent, but it's just not one that I think to return to very much. I mean, it is a cool thing to have Keanu Reeves in a samurai movie like this, so that's pretty cool, but it just lacks the replay value, that's all. Another honorable mention I'd say is Point Break. Now, I know that a lot of fans of Keanu Reeves would probably have this somewhere in their top 5, but for me, it's never been one of my favorite Keanu Reeves movies. I know this also has Patrick Swayze in it, and dare I say, I think this movie is a little bit overrated. I know that a lot of people have said that this was basically the Fast and the Furious before the Fast and Furious came out, of course, but Point Break I don't think is bad. I think it's a decent film, but definitely not a film I would have in my top 5, which is why it's only an honorable mention, so there's that. But let's go ahead and get started with my top 5. So number 5, Constantine. A great movie, I'd say. It definitely has those spiritual themes to it, and I know that some people have said that this film could have benefited with more action scenes, and I probably agree that it could have been a better film if it had more action to it, but of course Keanu Reeves really does do a good job here. He really does deliver a great performance with this. Of course, I like all this stuff when he's casting out the demons and he even flips off the devil. So yeah, Constantine, I think it's a good flick. And I know Constantine is a film that would make number 1 for a lot of people when we're talking Keanu Reeves movies, but for me, there just happens to be movies of his that I prefer over this. But still, Constantine, I think, is a very good film. So Constantine is coming in at number 5. So let's go ahead and get into number 4, which is Speed. Definitely a classic from 1994. So the plot of this film, Keanu Reeves plays this cop who has to stop this bad guy who has an explosive on this bus, and the bus has to run at a certain speed, otherwise the bus will blow up. And Sandra Bullock is also in this movie. She's the co-star with Keanu Reeves, and I think they have good chemistry in this movie. I dig the action in this one, and it's a pretty intense movie. It's definitely very good. So if you are a fan of 80s, 90s action films, definitely check out Speed if you have not seen this one. It's a very good Keanu Reeves flick, and just all in all, a really good movie in general. And then, of course, you have the ending where they're on the train, the final showdown on the train, which is really epic. So Speed, it's a great movie for sure. Can't recommend it enough. So Speed is coming in at number 4. So now, number 3, John Wick, the first John Wick movie, to be more specific. So when it comes to the John Wick franchise, I think the first one is definitely the best. I know for a lot of John Wick fans, you'll hear different opinions. Some people will say that the third one is their favorite. Some people might even say that the fourth one's their favorite, but I feel like that's a very rare case, because I know that a lot of people say that the fourth film is their least favorite, and that has a lot to do with, number 1, the length of the movie, because yes, John Wick Chapter 4 is a pretty lengthy film. And then you also have, spoiler alert, the ending where John Wick dies. Dies, supposedly, because I know they're talking about doing a 5th John Wick movie, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, the first John Wick movie I think is the best, in my opinion, in the John Wick series. Definitely a great movie. Of course, this is the one that started it all, this big franchise. It's definitely solid. It's very emotional too, especially the beginning when you find out what happens to John Wick's wife and also the dog, of course. And John Wick just decides that, he's going to take matters into his own hands. And yeah, very solid movie with some great action scenes. I know Willem Dafoe is also in this movie, and I do like him as an actor. I've liked the majority of the stuff that I've seen him in. Of course, the first thing that I have seen Willem Dafoe in is the first Spider-Man movie as Green Goblin. But I thought Willem Dafoe did a fine job in this movie too, his performance and everything. And this movie, of course, has Keanu Reeves' iconic line, "Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back." So John Wick is back, and, that's when the bad guys start panicking because they're familiar with who John Wick is and what he's capable of, and the rest is history. So, great action film. Definitely a great action film. So, if you have not seen John Wick, definitely check this one out. And then after this one, check out the sequels, because I think the sequels are solid too. I think all of the sequels are solid. Not as good as the first film, but I think the sequels are still very good. But John Wick, the first movie, I think is very good, so that's what's coming in at number 3. So now, at number 2, we have, in my opinion, one of the most underrated martial arts movies, and that is Man of Tai Chi. Now, in this movie, Keanu Reeves plays a bad guy. He plays this character who runs this underground organization where people fight for money and stuff, and I think everyone did a good job on this movie. Even Tiger Chen. Of course, Tiger Chen is one of the leading roles in this, along with Keanu Reeves. Both him and Keanu Reeves have very good chemistry together, and apparently they did train a lot together for this movie. And yeah, you could tell that they had a good time working together on this. And Tiger Chen, I do like him as an actor and as a martial artist. I do like the stuff that I've seen him in. I believe he was in Triple Threat, which is kind of an underrated action flick, to be honest. But Man of Tai Chi, I think, is very solid. I think everyone did a good job on this. And Simon Yam is also in this movie. So somehow I keep forgetting that Simon Yam is also in this movie. So Simon Yam also did very good here. Of course, Keanu Reeves' performance is very good. And he surprisingly played a pretty good bad guy, considering how nice he is in real life, apparently. I mean, he did this villain role pretty darn well, I'd say. And I dig the fight scenes for the most part. The martial arts stuff and the tournament stuff that's in the movie, I think, is good. Now, the ending where Tiger Chen does fight Keanu Reeves' character, Keanu Reeves does make these goofy faces, like where he's like, it's just kind of silly, to be honest. But besides that, I think it's great. I think it's a very solid, underrated martial arts movie. And if you're a fan of martial arts films, a fan of action films, check this one out. You might like this one. So Man of Tai Chi is coming in at number 2. And I know it may seem very high in my top 5 since this is at number 2, but what can I say? I think this movie is great. It deserves a lot more recognition, I think. It definitely deserved more attention, I would say. So let's go ahead and get into what I have at number 1, which I know would probably be number 1 for a lot of people. I feel like this is a pretty common choice, and that would, of course, be The Matrix, the first Matrix movie from 1999. And I would say it is definitely the best of the Matrix movies. And the first Matrix movie was definitely a game changer, a groundbreaking film for action and sci-fi. And I really dig what this film has going for it. And like with Man of Tai Chi, this film does have some martial arts stuff to it as well. And I know that Keanu Reeves is very passionate about that genre in particular, the martial arts genre. So a lot of that has been incorporated in this film. And of course, Lawrence Fishburne is also in this movie. He's a really good actor as well. And he would, of course, come back for the John Wick films. But The Matrix, I think, is great. The sci-fi stuff is really cool. And it's held up pretty well. This movie has held up pretty darn well, I'd say. I mean, it's definitely a classic. I would say Keanu Reeves' performance is excellent in this one. So the first Matrix movie has to be my number one Keanu Reeves movie. So let me know what you guys think. What are your top 5 Keanu Reeves movies? Feel free to let me know in the comments. And are you a fan of Keanu Reeves? Feel free to let me know. So with that said, let me know what you think of my choices for my top 5. So on that note, thank you all for watching, take care, and have a good one.